All right. So normally I wouldn't do something like this, kind of like a speculation thing, or a trade thing, because it'd be like a minute long video. Just Packers trade for a player, get rid of a player and a draft pick, or just get rid of a draft pick or whatever. But I want to take a deeper dive into this Will Fuller stuff because I have been seeing a lot of people are talking about this, and I want to give my opinion on this. So to start out, last the 28th, there was this tweet, and then there was like two other tweets that came out saying that Packers are looking to target Will Fuller in a trade. The 28th was a Wednesday. If I can go back up here. It was a Wednesday. We had just played them on a Friday, so I don't know if Will Fuller was talking to them, on Sunday or whatever. But they were targeting Will Fuller last Wednesday, and then it kind of went dead for a couple of days. And usually that means we're not gonna pick up the player. Will Fuller's not gonna trade it here or anything. And then just this past week here, so this is if you go through here, because I just looked up Will Fuller Packers like a day ago, 21 hours ago. There's all these recent stuff about Will Fuller coming. Obviously, there's a couple more here for last week. The 28th is when it really started, and I just kind of pulled up one, and it looks like the Packers are kind of like really interested. It looks like Goody is really interested in targeting him. Again, I don't know if it's gonna happen because things started to come out yesterday, but there's still radio silence from the NFL. Or from the from the Packers, excuse me, not from the whole NFL, just from the Packers. Nothing, like, I don't know if they're doing something in the background and they're just not telling people or what. But there is an increasing amount of reports that Packers are going to try to target Will Fuller, and it seems like that. Now I pulled up the deadline just to see. So it is 4 p.m. Eastern. So tomorrow, Tuesday, November 3rd, 4 p.m. Eastern. It's on election day. So we have roughly about 27-ish hours here until the deadline closes. Because it'll be 3 here. So yeah, about 27-ish hours, somewhere around there. So I'm expecting, if we do pick up Will Fuller, I'm expecting it to be within the next possibly 12 hours maybe. I don't think they would literally wait till like tomorrow at noon to pick him up and go last second for him. But we will see. But that's what a lot of people want, a wide receiver. And when the Packers came out and said, hey, we're thinking about Will Fuller, obviously a lot of people's a lot of interest got piqued by the fans because obviously, this is, addressing something we should have done in the draft or whatever. Personally, I think a wide receiver is a bad idea. I would rather go defensively, primarily like another run stopper or someone up front that can help generate pressure. Because against a team, the Bucs O-line, I think they're top 5 O-line, I think. I don't remember exactly, but anyway, they're a good O-line. And we had no pressure on Brady. And then just what is today? Monday. I already forgot the day. Just yesterday against the Vikings. Yes, we got 3 sacks. We didn't generate a lot of pressure. Cook was able to run all over us. So I would rather get someone on defense versus another wide receiver. Yes, the way it kind of looks, it looks like Rodgers only really trusts Adams. Yes, there is that. Because he had all 3 touchdowns. And Rodgers didn't really throw at anyone else. EQ had 2 big plays where he dropped the ball. One was in the end zone. One was about a 20-yard pass that would have been a first down. And then he goes back to, was it 2 plays later, a play later, whatever, and drops the pass in the end zone, which I don't get why we targeted the end zone there. So I get going for, a wide receiver. put someone across from Adams, and that'll be really good. But it doesn't help when we have a defense that can't stop the run and struggles against some passes. I think we're like middle of the pack for pass, but our defensive our run stoppers up front, I think we're like dead last or something like that. So it's just I would rather go defensively. Yes, Will Fuller would be nice. He is injury prone. I mean, this is the past 2 or 3 years. I think he's played like 8 to 10 games in total, or not 8 to 10 games per year. Excuse me, not in not in total. 8 to 10 games per year. About is what he I think he's played. So I mean, again, I'm not gonna be mad if we sign him, but I think there's more pressing issues. I think Mike Pettine needs to be gone, and we need another defensive head coach. I don't know who's on the trade block defensive head coach. I don't know who is out there for that. So we might be stuck with Pettine for the rest of this year, and then we might have to wait for the offseason for a trade. We'll see what happens. But I just think focusing on the defense, trying to get our defense better, so then our offense doesn't have to, compete and put up 40-some points a week. Yes, it's nice seeing that. It's nice seeing a high-scoring game, putting up a bunch of points. But when it's a shootout, yesterday it was, a running game out. Well, really the running game. Something like that. Like, we could not stop Dalvin Cook. So I'd rather have, another nose tackle right next to Kenny Clark, someone on that line. Kirksey is out. I mean, he would have probably helped with, middle linebacker right there. But he's out for, I think, another week or two. So, I would love to have someone else, another middle linebacker there, outside linebacker, somewhere on that second level too. I think our strong point is probably our cornerbacks and safety. I really like Savage. Obviously, Jair is really good. King, who is, I think he's been out, 3 weeks now, or 2 weeks with injuries. So, we're kind of playing the backups there. I don't think King is bad. Amos back there. And, we got some, backups that are pretty decent back there, too. So I think we got to, focus more so up front defensively than going for another receiver. Yes, I don't really like EQ. I call him like glass because he's like literally glass, because it's been 3 years where he's been hurt and he hasn't really had a lot of playing time. Which, I mean, again, that's kind of like Will Fuller, where he is kind of injury prone, but at least he plays more games than EQ, and he has been healthy this whole season still, and we are 8 weeks in. I think they're on a bye. The Texans are on a bye this week, so he's resting up now this week too. If we do pick him up too, I think is it 14-day quarantine or 10-day quarantine. I don't know what the NFL is. I forget. But he'd have to sit out at least a minimum of a week. We are going into a short week against San Francisco, which really worries me. Because the way we played the Vikings, I mean, we're going to just get run all over by the backs. I do know Raheem Mostert is out, I believe, but they still have, a two-headed running back there that's just, it can still just devour us. So, we'll see. Again, we have about 27-ish hours, somewhere around there, till the trade deadline expires. And again, over the past day, there has been a lot more reports about Will Fuller. So I don't know if we're getting closer to a contract with him. Obviously, we have a whole bunch of people to pay, so this would be like a 1-year small money amount. So, I mean, if he does really good, like if we make the Super Bowl and he does really good, there's going to be some people that are going to say extend him, but we have about 17 people we got to extend this offseason. So we'll see what happens. But I just kind of want to make a kind of a short video. It's probably close to 10 minutes by now. But just talking about that, my thoughts on that. it's a nice complimentary piece, but I think defensively we have to be more worried about that. I mean, we do not want shootouts every single week against better teams. I mean, Tampa. Just look at that Tampa game, and just look at again a running game against the Vikings. But we'll see what happens if we do draft Will Fuller. I will have another video coming out on that. My review, reaction, whatever you want to call it, to the loss of the Packers should be up by the time this video is up. So we're gonna have basically 2 videos today. Tomorrow, again, I start that new weekly schedule, so look out for a Dokkan video. Wednesday, I will have my picks, and then Thursday is still up in the air, but it's probably going to be some sort of skit. I have been thinking about doing something, like a petting skit or something. We'll see. But for now, I'm going to go ahead and get on out of here. 27 hours to go. Like the video, share the video around, and don't forget to subscribe. We're out of here. Peace.